3, 2, 1. Gang squad.
What's up?
Hey, everyone. This is my friend Frankie Fody. I immediately fuck up your name.
You good?
Which you just told me that's not even your real name.
Well, it's like the name that I go by. Frankie's like the easiest to pronounce.
It's like a stage name.
Pretty much. I mean, my mom's been calling it since I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
So like I'm used to it. But
Yeah.
my actual name is Italian as you can get.
Yeah.
Francesco, and I realize I'm saying this while going like
With
this. That was not intentional. That wasn't intentional. Okay. Francesco Giovanni Foti.
That's a hard name.
Yeah.
That's a strong name.
Yeah, like when I say that, people are like, "Oh, okay." Like, yeah,
Wow.
it's super, you know.
It's glamorous.
My last name Foti also apparently means light in Greek,
oh, cool.
like Foti, photo, or some
Yeah.
shit like that.
I like that. I have a stage name. Andy Leo's not my real name.
Plot
but
twist.
I know. I have to get my Wikipedia changed. It still says like my old. It's there's 3 different names out there on the
Have
internet.
you read
right
your like Wikipedia page?
I don't want to think about it. It says you know what? Last time I did, it said I played piano in the band, like no vocals whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah, it said piano, and then we had like there's dudes listed on there that were in the band that just like
Have no.
played one show, and they're like, oh, he's in, and they're in there forever. I don't know how you change it either. Like
You just literally hit edit.
oh, dude, there's no way it's that easy.
Yeah,
Something.
no, it's Wikipedia. There's like literally an edit button.
Don't you lie to me, bro. Don't make me, because now I feel way dumber than I already did. Anyways, Frankie's here today, you guys. He's a professional magician and probably the only magician I know, except for your friend who I met last time, the really Italian guy.
Oh, Ricardo?
So, dude, Ricardo's the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
Italian dude I've ever seen.
Well, yeah.
He had like those three girls that were like heckling the show the whole time. They're like, wait, what?
What show is this? Were we doing a dual show?
It was
or?
the dual show where he was like, where you did your act,
Yeah.
and everybody was clapping. And he's like,
Yeah.
everybody, wait.
Oh, yeah.
And he came up and just
Yeah.
sat down. He was like, give them more, Frankie. It was.
He's like, wait, yeah.
He was so cool. He recognized my suit, and I was like, oh, this guy's a stylish motherfucker right here, dude. So
Shout out to Ricardo.
shout out to Ricardo, the man, super cool guy. So my first question for you is when did you fall in love with magic? When did you decide, when did you pick it up, and when did you realize that you wanted to go for it full send?
It's kind of one of those weird questions where there's like, it's like multiple parts where like it was kind of like always talk a little fast. Okay. It was always like kind of like I don't know, like, so when I was like 9 years old, every kid gets a magic kit that's like pretty standard, and then I played with it as every kid does for 2 days.
Right.
Put it down, and then when I was like 15 when I like started getting into it, and I would like do a couple things, and it got to the point where my like teachers on like off like periods basically would let me do like card tricks for the class and stuff.
Oh, sick.
And so like everyone kind of started to see that I was doing it, and then when I was 17, I met my mentor. My mentor's name was Dean Dill.
Yeah.
How I met him was I was with my dad. We look up and we see a sign that says haircutting and magic. And you have to go in there if you see that sign. 100%. You can't not go in there. Yeah. So we go in there, and to this day, I remember did 3 things.
Yeah.
Blew my mind, and I have to go back here, and I bothered him every day until he eventually took me under his wing.
Really?
Yeah.
What? So when you walked in, what did he do? Was he was like just pulled a blanket over your hair and then it was like done, or what? Like,
I mean, like, no, he's like cut David Blaine's hair and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, like a bunch of people, like anytime, like he had like this little like barber shop, but it like he also like had like a little like table to do like magic. So
cool.
like anytime we had magicians in town, they would come there and hang out.
Cool.
But I mean, I remember like, you know, I would go in there, like I'd usually go in on Fridays. And at one point, like, he was giving a haircut, and I had a deck of cards in my hand.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, just shuffle them up and just, you know, think of any card. And he's like, deal as many cards down. And he's like, was that your card? And I'm like, yeah. And he didn't even look at me the entire time. He was like cutting someone's hair. And he would fool you with this little twinkle in his eye.
Yeah.
He would just, you know, give you this little look like he knew, you know.
Dude, I love that. I think, I don't know. I didn't know that it was such a prominent profession. It was so sick. For the first time you brought me to the castle and I got to see it, it was amazing, dude. And you see people across all walks of life being blown away and reacting to it. It was so sick.
There's few people. I mean, there's a decent community doing it professionally, but it's definitely not one of those like widely recognized things. Like one of the things that like I struggle with the most is, especially when performing in restaurants. Like I'll approach a table and like I'll do a couple things, everything great, and then usually they want to ask, like, how'd you get into magic?
Right.
And like I had this one guy who I don't think it was intended as an insult, but like he's like, I'm like, yeah, like this is my career, and he just straight up looked at me and he's like, really, career? Like honestly,
oh, what a dick.
I was like, oh, thanks, man.
What do you do? It's equally as fun. Everything that everybody does is fucking weird.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, cool, guys, I'm out of here. 'Cause, like, in a professional situation, I can't be like, screw you, man.
Hey, real quick, fuck you. Is this your card? And like, it's,
yeah. I mean, he's already had his mind destroyed, but he was just trying to be like, compensate.
Right. Oh man, that's so whack. Where you have to try and you see it all the time. People that feel like they should like, I belong there. I should be the one performing. And we're like, what do you do? Why would you even come to a show?
Exactly.
That is so ridiculous. But so your mentor, like how I saw you post a photo recently of him.
Yeah, he passed away. I think it was 4 years ago. Actually, the day he passed away was kind of strange. So my mentor's name was Dean Dill, and
stage name.
I think so. I mean, that was his like.
That
name.
was his magician name. Yeah.
If it wasn't a stage name, then I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like, so he performed on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson long time ago. And like he taught Johnny Carson magic, and they would hang out. And so when he went on the show, Johnny picked a card, and then like the card disappeared, and then it appeared, and think it was an orange. And the card that was selected was the 7 of Hearts. His wife's favorite card is the 7 of Hearts. The day he passed away was February, the month of Hearts, on the 7th day.
What?
It's kind of weird, right?
Oh, dude. Oh, it's so crazy. I thought you were going to tell me he pulled the card out of the orange.
He did pull the card
out
of the orange.
Oh, dude. Every time I see that shit, it blows my mind.
The Harrison Ford clip is like the one with David Blaine is the most iconic. The one where he's like, "Get the F out of my house."
Yeah. Get out of You're a demon, David Blaine. Oh man. So you've been performing for how long now then?
I mean, performing like magic, I would say like close to 10 years, but like performing wise, like when I was a kid, like I was actually interested in acting and stuff. And like I kind of followed that for a bit, but I kind of like fell out of it. Like, the passion wasn't there. And I was like, this is really cool. I don't know, I got tired of it because like I've been doing it for so long. But I'd say performing magic like 10 years, but performing is my life. Like I always knew I was never going to have that 9 to 5 like regular job. I was like, I have to do something that either like I'm super passionate about or, some type of performing thing.
That's huge. What were the biggest moments of doubt for you? You said that you sometimes your heart wasn't in it at one point.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm sure as you know, so first of all, like straight out of high school, everyone's like, yeah, this magic thing's cool, but go to college, because that's, very important and you're going to need to, and I would always struggle with, like maybe you should get a second job, maybe you should, and just all this second, doubts in my head. And at the end of the day, I kind of had to say like, what, like I made magic my only career option. Like I kind of focus on it so that it is my only option. Like people are like, what's your backup plan? I don't want to have a backup plan because that's when your backup plan becomes your main thing.
Right.
And I'm not going to let that happen.
That lets room in for like the possibility of failure.
Exactly.
I love that. Dude, full send. I remember, who was it? Travis Barker said that a while back to kind of justify his tattoos. I was like, man, that doesn't really make sense. But I do respect like the heart behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, fuck everything and go for it, dude. That's so sick.
Well, now of course, everyone from like, high school that's, stuck in like, their office jobs, like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you for like following your dreams and this and that. I'm like, wait, weren't you the people telling me to stay in college?
Dude, I know the feeling. My parents expected me, my mom especially, really, since I was a child, was like, you're gonna be an Ivy League student, you're gonna go to some sort of, and I was like, have you met me? Like, I'm so bad at everything like that. But here we are today.
Dude, my
self-made
mom's grandma, I think, was like the president of like the with the parent student association or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So school was like,
Oh,
yeah, it was like
dang.
drilled into them. So like, school was like a very big thing. So my mom was very big on school. My dad was always, the one who's, like find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Right.
So like, yeah, there was a very
Nice. Dude, 10 years. 10 years is a long time to be doing that. I'm sure
I've
you
obviously changed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
With my performing and everything.
You're good, dude. You're like
Thank you,
so calm and like the charm, it's not over the top craziness or like David Blaine's style like
Watch.
No, I think it your personality kind of shines through the way you do it. And I
Thank
think
you,
it's really cool to watch.
That's kind of what I always focus on, because like my favorite compliment is like, obviously when it's like, oh, your magic's great, like I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But they're like, because like most people, like I don't want to say they don't like magic, but they've never seen the proper like they've never seen magic in the proper light to kind of like appreciate it.
Yeah.
Most people have seen like their uncle do like a little card trick and they assume that's what all magic is like.
Right, or the thumb.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, like magic,
Ooh,
yeah. So like, I appreciate when they're like, yeah, I love the magic, but like, you were so much fun, because like you're kind of like sharing like a fun experience with them,
Absolutely. It really is a full-blown performance. I love that. You have 10 years of performing, you got to have some sort of crazy shit.
Oh, absolutely.
People try and ruin the show ever. People try and reveal it.
I was gonna say let's go into some. Yeah, I can go into horror stories for like all
go.
day.
Let's go. Let's rotate.
So, let's start with
Yeah.
one of my favorites. So one of my favorite ones was at a place called Greystone Mansion.
Right.
It-
Obviously, super rich people.
Yeah.
Sounds rich.
It was a wedding, and I was doing like the cocktail hour.
Right.
So usually, like the bride and groom are getting their photos done, and I'm like, entertaining, the guests and kind of like breaking the ice and stuff.
Right.
So I approached this group, and I'm entertaining them. Everything's going great, and you would think that it would be in the middle of it. It was right when I was leaving. So like when I'm done like performing with my cards, I put them in my pocket. That's not a secret. That's just, when you're done with your phone, you put it in your pocket.
Right,
it's
right.
what you do. So I put my cards in my pocket, and they went in my outside jacket pocket. And this woman was like, I saw you do that. Like, she saw, I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Who cares? And then she was like, what else do you have in your pockets? And she took her hand and did not reach in my outside pocket, but in my inside pants pocket.
Ooh.
Went all the
invasive.
way down. Yeah. And started like grabbing and pulling. The best part was she did this in front of her daughter, and her daughter's jaw dropped.
Yeah.
Her daughter was so embarrassed. She grabbed a stack of 20s, put it in my hand, and pushed me away.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Ooh, nice. Thank you, daughters. Bro,
you
that's
want-
invasive as hell. Was she just drunk? You think?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
People get loosey goosey. They do that shit. I hate that on tour and stuff. Like I love fans, but people get super fucked up and they're not really self aware. They'll come up. We had to do this like, let me buy you guys drinks,
Yeah.
and we're like, yeah, sure. Round of drinks. We keep drinking, and he just gets to the point where he's like talking to me like this close to my face, and then eventually just falls over at the bar, and they pick him up and throw him out. It was amazing. But you that's the thing with performing, is you kind of have to roll with the punches as far as like the audience. You never know who you're going to be performing.
That's one of those things though, is like, yeah, like you have to be very quick on your feet. And actually, because you said that, it reminded me, have you ever talked to like a really, really, really drunk older dude that just like, they get really close to your face, and the more you back up, the more they get closer?
Oh, I hate that. No.
I was at this gig, and it was a bat mitzvah actually.
Nice.
And there was like a guy, super nice guy, but like he had clearly had like way too much to drink, and
Right.
he was like talking this close to me. I'm like, oh, cool, we're having this conversation. Then he get a little closer, and I back up, and then he got closer, and I back up, and he kept getting closer, and I'm like, hey man, like,
what are you doing?
back
Yeah,
up,
I can
yeah.
hear you from right here.
yeah, it was a little weird.
Oh, dude, no way. What else you got? Any
Hecklers?
hecklers? I'm sure you get them all the
Oh,
time.
hecklers all the time.
What do they yell?
Well, so usually, okay, so I used to get them a lot more.
Right.
But like over like the years, I've kind of learned, obviously, like crowd control and stuff like that. And I've
Yeah.
kind of learned how to like handle that. But like lately, I don't deal with it too much. But hecklers. Okay, do you want to hear the worst show I've ever done in my life?
Yes.
Okay, worst show I've ever done in my life. Couple years ago, I was hired for this very, very like rich company,
Right.
like company that hands like a $50 bill to every person that walks in,
Re-
open bar, and it was just one of those events that everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Well,
So like I show up, and the photographer recognized me, and the bar staff was there like setting up their tip jar, and they didn't know I was a magician. So he jokingly said, "Hey, watch your tips around this guy. He's gonna make your tips disappear." And you know when you can feel the air being sucked out of the room?
Yeah.
That's what happened, and I could feel that. And so I'm like, "Hey guys, you know he's kidding, right?" And they're like, "Oh, we just had $500 of our tips stolen last night, so we're a little bit,
Oh no,
shaky."
on edge. Yeah.
So I'm like, "Great, we're off to a great start."
Right. Yeah.
I'm supposed to do a 30-minute stage show. It's like 300 people in this room, and I never perform when people are eating because I don't care how good I am or what I'm doing. Food will always win. Right? Because you can't perform when someone's eating. Like, you can't like be like, "Hey, what was your card?" while they're chewing on chicken, right? It just doesn't work.
People do that?
I always trying to get out of that. And so the woman who I had the agreement with, I'm like, "Hey, they're just finishing up their salad. You're going to go on in 2 minutes." And like, they were about to eat dinner. I'm like, "Oh, no, we had the agreement. Like, it was a very clear agreement. We're going to do this after dinner." And she's like, No, you're doing this now." And I'm like, "Okay. We got to do this." So the CEO goes up and starts doing a speech. The entire company of 300 people is not paying attention. So I'm like, okay, it's going to
go like this.
It's going to be one of those shows.
Shit.
So I'm about to go on stage. The DJ's introducing me. And then as I'm walking up on stage, I can hear multiple tables being like, "Oh, magician. Oh, this is probably going to suck." And just like random comments like that on every other table.
Shitting on you as you're walking out.
Right on there. And so I walk up to the stage. I'm 2 minutes into the trick. The guy helping me in front of 300 people walks away. So I'm 2 minutes in and nothing has happened. So I'm on stage and like I'm just in my head, like having a conversation. I'm like, "All right, what do I do?" "You, sir, why don't you come help me out?" And just from that moment on, no one paid attention.
Oh, dude.
I'd never like honestly considered like actually walking off stage and just ending the show. I was this close, but I gave it my best shot.
Yeah, the show must go on, dude.
I literally performed. In a room full of 300 people, only 2 people watched.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was the DJ behind me.
Yeah.
And the photo booth guy.
Yeah, because like they couldn't leave. They couldn't leave their post.
but they actually enjoyed it because I was like, "Oh my god, that's the worst show I've ever done."
Yeah.
And then like the photo booth guy came up to me and he was like, "Dude, you did an amazing job. You killed it. Like, I don't know how you just kept going." But he's like, "That was the worst audience ever." And I'm like, okay, that made me feel like a little bit better. Because like, in my head, I'm like, is it me? Is it,
you question your whole life's decisions up to that point.
But yeah, dude, after that show, like I tried to go to the bar and grab a drink after that. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, you can't grab a drink because you're one of the performers." And I'm just like,
"Oh, what a
come on.
Yeah, give me this one thing.
Yeah, give me one thing. Like I wanted one win.
That's so shot, dude. I remember there was a time we were playing in Salt Lake City, sometimes referred to as Salt Lake Shitty. But there are the city's run by Mormons. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they actually their government, like the whole deal is kind of funky, wonky there. But as a result, the gangs are they rebel in a different way. Like you're always gonna, there's always teenagers gonna be like, "Fuck."
It's very like straight edge gangs.
It was straight edge gangs.
Okay.
It was straight edge gangs, and they would walk up to you and like if you were smoking outside of a venue, they would grab the cigarette out of your mouth and throw it and be like, "Don't fucking smoke in here." It's crazy. And I've actually heard a story from one of the guys in Issues about Ty. One time was moshing out there, and they could tell he was from somewhere else because I guess in California you mosh side to side, and in Salt Lake you mosh front to back, but it was enough for them to jump him, like just beat the shit out of him for it. Isn't that
doesn't sound very straight edge to me though?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you guys are just like the lamest gang ever. Like you don't, but it's whatever. No shit talking to straight edge people, but it's imposing your fucking beliefs on anybody's whack as fuck. But
what about you though, with like horror stories and stuff?
I was gonna say at that Salt Lake City, one of the first times we were on a Born of Osiris tour, and bunch of techie just proggy metal bands, and we were like post-hardcore, with singing, which people at the time had a really bad taste in their mouth about. We had like the Rise Core. There was just like a what's it called, like a perception or whatever. I can't think of the word right now, but whenever you a preconceived idea of what that band is going to be, and we had we were emo as shit.
Yeah,
there were 6 of us, and we all dressed in suits and stuff. So these people were like, immediately we walked out there and they're like, "Oh fuck these guys." So we're playing, we're like, just play all the heavy songs, like we'll just do that.
Yeah,
we're playing and the crowd turns around and sits down and like is rowing a boat or something.
What?
And I was like, is this disrespectful? Like, are they fucking, like, they're fucking with me, right?
Yeah. But like an entire crowd.
Like everybody in the pit. Like there was a couple people kind of struggling about, but like the people in the middle that were there for the show, like large majority just turned around and sat down. And I was like, respect the protest, but also fuck you guys.
Yeah.
So we just kept singing, you know. That's all you can really do is keep performing and hope for the best. But yeah, that was one that really stuck with me, and it was just like a different kind of subculture that you see. Just in touring, you know, different crowds react differently. But, you know,
100%.
the occasional, like, fight, I remember seeing, like, I've been on stage and see people, like, a bunch of people point at a dude. I'm like, all right, everybody stop. What's going on here? And like, he's grabbing my boobs. I'm like, all right, he's grabbing boobs. You can't be touching kids, guy. Security, let's grab this dude. And they grab him, throw him out. And he's like, rah, 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 rah. Stuff like that. Occasional beers getting thrown at us. I tried to catch one once. Barely, dude, missed it by this much. It's going to be the coolest thing ever. Yeah, crush it, finish it. But for the most part, it's fine. We've been doing this thing where I'll get shots crowd surfed. On nights where I'm feeling like if it's sold out or if it's like a hype enough night, I'll be like, this is what we're doing. Let's try this out.
Yeah.
And this isn't a bad thing yet. Well, there was one time where we got like 8 or 9 shots and I had to like distribute them amongst the band, you know, because I was like, there's no way I can finish these.
Two for you.
And they're all different. You know, people, when you say a shot, people immediately jump to like what their idea of a shot is. So you get like Jaeger, you'll get Fireball more than anything, which is a disgrace. If you drink Fireball, please stop. Unless Fireball wants to sponsor the podcast, then that's cool.
Go with Fireball.
Yeah, go Fireball. I love Fireball. It's really good. But yeah, there's so many little things like that may get to you, but everybody's, you know, it's just something that comes with performing. I think, you know, you never know what's gonna happen. I think that's what's
what
really
makes it so fun. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. I think that's why I enjoy going to the Comedy Store so much. Yeah, have you been yet?
I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's like being spoiled. It's like being spoiled and living in LA, as we get to see all these like world famous comics kind of practice their new jokes here and stuff. But the live aspect for them is so much crazier. Like when you see a heckler and dude, I've seen comedians just verbally abuse the fuck out of somebody like throughout the rest of their set. Even like it's never just like somebody says something stupid and he destroys them. Like he'll keep coming back and just keep laying it in. That's amazing. I wish I had that level of finesse, but
sometimes you have to. And like there's the thing that I struggle with the most is people are so addicted to their phones that like in the middle of a show, like when I'm performing close up, you're like 4 feet away from me, if that. Like I can see you. So I was in the middle of doing a trick and I saw someone texting in my head. I'm like, hey, maybe it's an emergency. Maybe they need to like say, hey, like, are you watching the kids, whatever. I totally get that.
Right.
But if it's like, it's throughout the entire show, then I'm like, all right, why are you in here? So it had been about 10 minutes in. And
was this at the
Yeah, the castle. I step out from underneath the table. She's on her phone. He was on his phone. I walk up directly to him and I'm like, hey, and like the entire audience turned and looked at him. I'm like, I'm really sorry that my show is interrupting your texting, but could you please put away your phone? It's really distracting for those of us trying to watch this. Is that okay with you? Is that all right with you?
Yes.
And then I turned around, the audience like started cheering like that.
You gotta love that.
And then I continued with the show.
Nice, dude. You got to. I love shaming. That sounds like a horrible thing to say just out loud without context. But if somebody, it's a great and effective way. It's like the teachers knew immediately. Hey, you mind? And I'm just like,
I'm sorry.
Fuck.
The worst though is when they try and they continue with it. Like I had a woman one time. I asked her 5 times and she didn't get off her phone. And it was just like the show is ruined.
You're not even allowed to have phones during the performances.
Exactly. So I obviously mentioned something after, and she was like, escorted out and everything. But like it was just like
they took her out.
Yeah. Well, because like in the middle
security just does what? I in my head I picture like a trap door.
Yeah. Just It's like Willy Wonka.
Yes, dude.
Yeah. You can pick her up at the front, like at the end. Yeah. But yeah, it was like literally 5 times, and it was just one of those things where it got awkward, and then I'm just like, the show ended on an awkward note because of that. So for most of the times though, if I ever do have anything like that, the thing is like hecklers can be your best friend,
Right.
but they can also be your enemy. So like I can, like from performing a lot, you can kind of like recognize like when someone's like kind of engaging with you. I'm like, all right, this person's clearly going to try and like do something like that.
Right.
So like I will always try and get them to be my best friend before like they will heckle me. And sometimes the things they say are so funny that it makes my show 10 times better.
Oh, nice.
So like I would almost rather have them, like joke and like have fun around.
Oh, that's true.
Because at the end of the day, all they want is a little attention, and
Yeah.
they want to like show that they have something funny.
Right.
So it's more like, and it also to everyone watching, and they're like, whoa, like this is clearly live, like this is happening right now and then, which makes it so much more like powerful and so much more of an experience.
Yeah, I love that. That's really true. I've had people be like, take your shirt off. And I was like, I don't know, I said something witty or
Yeah.
funny, and the crowd was like, bah! And I was like, oh, thanks. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, that totally worked out. One thing I wanted to ask you about was I saw you post about your friend. You were telling me a while ago that you helped him set up a trick
Little bit.
for television.
Little bit.
What was it?
With Shin?
Yeah.
So
He just won something.
Yeah. So he's now won America's Got Talent twice. Literally
Twice?
twice. So he won America's Got Talent the last season, season 13.
Yeah.
And then they did something called America's Got Talent: The Champions.
Yeah.
And he literally won not only America's Got Talent but the Champions, which is like the world's
winners?
best.
Oh, wow.
And he won that. So I helped a very, very little
Yeah.
on the kind of like the final piece for the season 13 finale.
Wow,
very,
that's
very
huge.
little. Yeah.
Is it competitive out there for the magicians? I remember when I talked to you once, I ran into a dude that's Instagram famous
Julius
at Coachella.
Dean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
yeah,
dude.
You told me. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, I didn't know that. I guess it makes sense that there are social media people in like every line of
Yeah.
work, and that dude seems to be the one that's like the most prominent. Is it? Do you see magic kind of changing with, like social media kind of coming up, or the way that you go about it? Is it any different? because of
Kind
that?
of. The most annoying thing to me is when I'm performing and someone wants to record, because I have no problem with someone wanting to record a quick trick and put it on Instagram because I'll tag you and all this. The problem is that they record like a 20-minute performance and then they didn't even watch it.
That's your whole show.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I could care less about that, but it's just like they don't even watch it because they're watching through a screen, and when I'm asking them questions, they're looking through here to make sure it looks good rather than actually watch.
Oh,
So, like, I one time had this woman, and I hope this never surfaces,
Yeah.
but, like, I was in the middle of performing, and then she's just like, oh, yeah? Well, like, tell me my future. And I'm like,
that's a different.
that's not my
That's
job
not this
at all.
thing.
Yeah.
That's not
And then
what's
she's like,
happening
well, what's my husband's name going to be? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what? And so, and she's recording the entire time.
here. Really?
Yeah. I'm done with my magic. I'm like, you can stop recording now.
Tell me what I'm thinking.
And I'm like, your husband's name is John. I don't know.
Yeah, move this microphone with
And
your
then
mind.
her other friend's like, oh yeah, well, when am I gonna get married? Once again,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
People.
And so I'm just like, it's sometime between now and 2080 is an obvious joke. And she's like, well, I'm probably gonna be dead by then. And I'm just like,
Oh wow! I would have just thrown her out.
but with social media, it's kind of weird because when you're watching anything on social media, you're watching it through this box, right? And so it's a lot harder for me to like perform because like I'm used to like very free flowing, like kind of just having fun. But when
Right.
you're performing especially for a camera, you have to stay in frame, and it is exactly
As
like
you
this,
could,
yeah.
what I had to do just a second,
Yeah.
10 seconds ago. Yeah.
But like there's nowhere to hide, right, on camera, and that's why creating magic for TV is so difficult because you can't misdirect a camera. There's nowhere to look away. So when you're seeing it on camera, you're seeing it as it is. The problem is everyone always assumes that somehow you're gonna like, no matter how good the trick is or no matter how good anything is, they're always gonna assume, or one person is that, oh, it's video editing or this or that or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is
That sucks. It
yeah.
takes the fun away from it.
It's like, oh yeah, I only spent 2 years of my life working on that. Definitely video editing, 100%.
Oh, dude. That's gotta be. What if that's that could be like the next wave of guys that just aren't even magicians. They're just really good at video editing.
Well, no, there's a guy who does it. He's not even like technically a magician, but he has like friggin' like 11 million Instagram followers. His name is I have no idea who his name is, but someone will know his name. But he makes these videos where like he'll do something where like he'll like take his phone and like he'll like throw it into a TV and it looks like it goes in there. It's like Zach something. I want to say Zach King, but I don't feel like that's correct.
I'll have to check it out.
But yeah, like he does like a lot of stuff like that, and like he worked with like a lot of like movie companies and stuff to like create like little clips like that to like promote them or like other brands and stuff like that.
Right. That's so wild to me, dude. Man, are we gonna go to the Magic Castle tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel bad because for those of you who don't know, Magic Castle is a legendary spot out here in LA that you have to be a member or you have to know a magician. And how did we even meet? Through Sebastian, right?
Well, yeah. So did we? I think the first time we met was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, anytime Sebastian comes in town, like we usually hang out, and we try to at least go to the castle once.
Yeah.
So
I love that dude. Seriously,
he's the
what a
best.
rock star. I think he comes back next week, and he said he's gonna be a guest. He's
so
down
excited.
to talk, dude. He's got so much shit to say. It's gonna be fun.
Dude, that guy is awesome.
Yeah.
The first time I met him, like we hung out a few times, and then I randomly just invited him to my birthday. And it was like the most drunk I'd ever like been in my life. And there's a really fun video that he has somewhere of him playing with the balloon in a random hallway from that night.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was so much fun, but that guy is awesome.
Yeah, he's a legend. But we met through him, right?
Yeah,
he invited me, and then we met there.
Yeah, and then we met, and then it was us three.
That's it.
Yeah, we were like, this is gonna be. Yeah, we sat at
Bros,
the bar.
boys' night. Yeah,
Yeah, boys' night, yeah.
we got progress. I remember progressively getting drunk, and you were going through that breakup at the time. I remember being like talking to the owl that responds to you.
Yeah.
Archimedes. I was like, does she matter, bro? And it was like, bzz. I was like, we're gonna get fucked up, right? And it was like, bzz. I was like, super fucked up. Bzz. And you're like, not too fucked up. And I was like, bzz.
We were all like, relationships are never gonna, Yeah.
And then Sebastian gets locked down
Yeah.
hard. He took his girlfriend to a hot air balloon trip over pyramids in Mexico. I was like, you're telling me this isn't your girlfriend? It was so funny. We were all anti-relationship back then.
And then like a few months later, bam.
Locked down,
Yeah.
dude. I feel the same way. I don't know what it is. I think it's just tis the season. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Girls are sick.
It's true.
But I'm focusing on getting my shit together here. I wanted to introduce you to everybody because it's such a unique story, and that's kind of the beauty of being out here in LA and meeting so many fun, creative people. I feel like,
Dude, I've met some of the coolest people and also like weirdest jobs ever. So one time when I was at the castle, I met a woman who her sole job, this is how she makes her money, because like she's the one who movie people go to. So you know how like in movies when they have aliens that have like all the crazy eyes?
Yeah.
She literally hand paints those.
What?
And that's all she does. Like all day, every day, she hand paints them and sells them to like giant movie like companies and stuff like that.
That is so.
But like think about that. Like what do you want to do for a living? Well,
I'm gonna
when
make
I grow
alien
up, I want
ass.
to paint. Yeah, exactly.
Or like the girl from The Runaways, not Joan Jett, but the other one makes she makes chainsaw sculptures out of wood now.
What?
That's what she did after the band. That's what I'm. Maybe when this is all said and done, I'm gonna move out to the mountains and.
Do you want to just go do that right now?
Weld, yeah.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, I feel like this is a good time to first of all say thank you, man, for having me. I really appreciate.
Thank you
being
for
a guest, of course.
First guest. Dude.
I saw the first episode and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I want to be a part of this
Yeah.
because like I feel like this is a lot lighter of a conversation,
Right.
But I'm totally okay to go super dark and everything.
Yeah,
but
dude.
I was loving it, man.
We have yeah. I that's what I was saying earlier. It's like I got to balance. I'm either extremely intense or like completely not serious, jokey, goofy, happy, silly goose time.
Yeah.
But I'm finding the balance here, and I talking to the camera is weird. I think it's better
so
just hanging out.
unnatural, but like it's like so part of our lifestyle now.
Yeah, it feels weird. It was very cathartic for me to talk about everything and just kind of like, these are all my problems. Share with me your problems. And there are people like the comment sections where I was like, if anybody wants to talk about what their goals are or why their excuses are, I think acknowledging it is like step number one. And a ton of people did. And I was like, I'm a high school student. I want to make art for a living, but I want to do this and this. And I was like, wow, it's super liberating to be able to just say it out loud. And we were just talking about how much writing is helpful for that too.
So lately, like when I'm like creating magic is a weird thing in itself. So but lately I've been working on this new show that I want to create, and like I've never. Oh, okay. So Should we go back? Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it should be good.
So like lately, like instead of like creating any other way, I've been just taking a notebook and just writing out so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just all these ideas that I honestly don't even think they're even going to come to light, but it's good for me to get out of my head. And some of them are, coming to like, fruition and stuff, but just, it's such like a, I don't know, like a free, like, as you said, like liberating process.
Yeah, it feels good because I'm the type of person that never says what they're actually like. I didn't share my feelings with anybody for so long, and when I did, it was like during like an explosive meltdown.
Well, it's because like I guess we're like afraid of like what the response is gonna be, but like most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, it's like, wow, this is so much better. Like everything is like so much easier. Like we build up this whole like, oh, it's gonna be like this, and then it's like, oh, that was it.
Yeah, it's so much easier. Just it's so ridiculous, dude. Well, Frankie, thank you for coming to hang out, bud. Would you care to smoke marijuana with your boy?
Not on the internet.
Okay,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I meant go make chairs.
Let's go.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
In the woods.
Yeah. I'm getting the hang of this. I wish I had a person that could just audio and video engineer this shit for me. I know there's tons of people that do it in LA.
Yeah.
But then I probably have to pay them, and
yeah, that's
I'm just running back and forth like 5 or 6 times. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and introducing Frankie. I'm sure what's your Instagram at Frankie Foti?
Yeah, Frankie G Foti. So FrankieGFoti.
Check out his stuff. He posts so many fun tricks, and maybe you get to see what it's like.
Thank
and
you,
I'm
man.
sure you'll respond to questions if people
absolutely.
people are curious about it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back. Hopefully I'll have this video done by the end of this week. I'm gonna film you for Instagram. Hopefully,
yeah.
Get a little something. It's a little teaser. Be sure to subscribe. I'm gonna try and get this stuff onto Spotify this weekend as well. For those of you who don't like videos, I don't know. And let's keep it rolling, you guys. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.